Magic Box Storytime with me, Lottie. Today, we're going to find out what happens in Chapter 3 of The Tale of Professor Orange. The Professor and his team of small people have just escaped falling into a super shock sinkhole on their way to Mount Hua Hua Wah Wah to try and find the Drib Drab Diamond. Chapter 3, The Tornado. Once they'd all had a nice rest and enough fluffy raisins to keep them going a few more hours, they set off again, singing their expedition song. Do you remember that? How does it go? Ho, 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 going to the volcano to find a diamond in the mines. Ho, 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 ho. And they chatted about scientific discoveries like super shock sinkholes. The weather was still lovely, but as Professor Orange was strolling along at the head of his team, the little fan hanging around his neck suddenly blew sideways. "Crikey," he said, "what a strong gust of wind. Anyone else feel it?" None of them had, because they hadn't really been paying attention. But then it happened again, and Professor Orange frowned, scratched his science-y head and said, "Crikey, hope it's not a tornado." "A what?" said one of the team of small people. "You know," said the Professor, "a tornado, one of those spinning, windy things." He was still saying the word things when another gust of wind blew, and this one was so strong that Professor Orange was lifted up and thrown against a nearby giant rock. "Rotten rats!" he cried. "It is a tornado! Everybody, quick, stand back against these rocks. Maybe it'll pass us by." The team stood themselves against the rocks. They were a little shocked that more danger seemed to be coming their way, to be honest, and a few of them muttered, "I did not sign up for this," under their breath. "Here it comes," said Professor Orange. "Can you see it, spinning towards us?" They certainly could. A great column of spinning dust, which towered up from the ground into the sky, was circling its way across the land in their direction. "Hell's teeth," said half the team, and the other half nodded in agreement. Professor Orange watched in scientific amazement. "What a sight!" he cried, and then frowned lightly and said, "Hang on a second. If my geography is correct, that tornado is spinning its way towards Mount Hua Hua Wah Wah. Team, if we jump into it, it will surely carry us straight there." "Jump in?" screamed Theo. "Into a tornado?" shrieked someone else. "Have you lost every single one of the screws in your head?" yelled a third small person, already on the brink of a mild nervous breakdown. "Yes," cried Professor Orange. I mean, no, I haven't. It's just a perfect plan. Look, the tornado's reaching us. Come on, everyone. Jump in." "Give me strength," sighed Theo, and he leapt into the tornado as it span past them. Professor Orange made sure each team member followed one by one and then jumped in himself. Inside, the tornado was extraordinary, practically indescribable, but I'll do my best. They were blown round and round, up and down, side to side. Sometimes they were blown round and round whilst hurtling up and down and side to side at the same time. Through the dust, they could all see one another being buffeted about. And they could see other things inside the tornado as well. A supermarket trolley, 4 lorries, 2 red, 2 yellow, one entire swimming pool with the swimmers still in it, sloshing about from one end to the other, 10 Christmas trees, 15 hamburgers, no gherkins, and 8 very confused giraffes. Finally, just as it felt like their heads were going to twiddle off their bodies, the tornado seemed to run out of puff and started to slow down. The spinning became more and more gentle, and finally they all landed on the ground in a heap. The giraffes trotted off. Someone loaded the supermarket trolley onto one of the lorries. The swimmers decided to do a few more lengths, and Professor Orange and his team tucked into the hamburgers. The Christmas trees were missing, but a few days later, someone said they swore they saw them planted in a row in a shopping centre car park. And that is the end of Chapter 3. Will Professor Orange and his team get to Mount Hua Hua Wah Wah? Well, we'll have to find out in the next and final chapter. I hope you can join me for that. Thank you very much for listening to Magic Box Storytime with me, Lottie. Thank you and take care. Bye.